Hello and welcome to this chess tips video. So I hope you had a happy holiday. Today I'm going to talk about how to win more chess games. So there are many ways that you can try and improve your chess. I would definitely recommend studying tactics regularly, playing regularly. So what I'm going to do is just play a game here against a holiday bot named Holly, rated 1800. Santa's #1 helper elf is back and ready to give you a tough positional battle. Can you grind out a win? And as I'm playing the game, I'll just highlight different tips, things that can help you in your own games. And let's see what happens here. So we'll start the game, and I have the black pieces. All right. One of the first things you want to do is learn all the tips on the opening. Chess is broken down into the opening, middle game, and end game. And right off the bat, you have to know how to start a game. And there are different ways to do that. But in general, you want to control the center of the board, these squares in the middle. And by moving pieces that attack those squares, like this knight here, that is definitely helping you on your way to controlling the center. So white develops this knight. I have to figure out, how do I want to respond here? So I'm going to go ahead and just develop my queen, or excuse me, the pawn in front of my queen, and try and gain space in the center. And that's also another way that you might want to try and gain some type of advantage. I'll just bring another piece out. And a good tip to improve your chess is to try and develop pieces off the back rank quickly. Don't move the pieces twice in the opening unless you have a good reason, and that goes for pawns as well. And another strategy here is to develop your bishops outside the pawn chain. So I'm going to go ahead and play that. And now I can push this other pawn up here and reinforce the center. Now, this pawn here is under attack. And a great way to play better chess and win more games is to try and figure out what your opponent is doing. What was the reason behind their last move? So I'm going to go ahead and protect this pawn that the queen was attacking. Now they have two defenders here, or excuse me, two defenders. Two attackers. I have two defenders. So I'm going to go ahead and trade material here, forcing them to double up their pawns. And now I can capture towards the center here. They're attacking my knight, threatening the possibility of capturing, and then my knight would no longer be protecting here. So what should I do? I'm going to have to bring something else in here to help cover this. I could just try and develop another piece. I also have to watch out for this knight potentially jumping in here and threatening a fork of my rook and my king. So it's probably a good idea. There's also this threat as well. He could jump his knight in here. All right, but then it would be pinned. Okay, I don't want to make this too complicated, especially if any beginners are watching. So, knight is under attack. I have to do something about that because if he captures, then this pawn will no longer be protected and his knight can jump in there. So I am going to just protect that. So there we go. he does in fact come down and try to attack me. So I'm going to go ahead, move my king over here to protect, and he grabs a pawn there. So now I got to see if there's something better I can do. Now my rook is under attack, so I'm pretty much forced to capture. His knight is on the edge of the board, and a lot of times you don't want to do that. You don't want to leave a knight on the rim of the board. But he can just move that knight back. All right, so I could go ahead and attack, which I may do. Okay, and my opponent is ahead by a pawn. So I need to avoid trading pieces and try and trade pawns. So I'm going to go ahead, push this pawn forward. Now I could go ahead and capture, then attack his bishop. Now remember what I well, I have to capture because now he's threatening another fork here, unless I move my king. But why not capture and double pieces up here? Okay, then I can go ahead and target his bishop. All right, what now? What do we want to do now? Well, I might as well attack. Or do I knock out a bishop pair? So that can be a good tip to help you out, is go after somebody's bishop pair. I may end up doing that. All right, yeah, let's take out his bishop pair. Then we can attack with tempo. By going here. Okay, now what next? What next? Let's bring our king up. Then we can bring our rook into the game. Now, a good tip, okay, we're under attack here. So, we need to drop back. And we might as well go all the way back. Should we go here? Or all the way back? I'm just going to drop all the way back. Then we can bring our rook over and centralize. Okay. Probably should have brought my rook here on the open A file. I kind of rushed that move. All right, we'll go there. I delivered a check. Okay. Well, Should probably step back. And now, well, we can go here, threaten to capture a pawn with check, so we might as well do that. Okay, and now if we want, we could move here, pinning the rook, and force an exchange there. And then we could use our bishop pair in the endgame to try and go for a win. Will that be enough, though? Well, we also have a possibility. No. I think we need to get rid of his rook, because otherwise we'll have a check down here. So we'll trade off the rook. And then we might be able to go after this pawn. Let's see. All right, do we go after this pawn? Let's go here. Go after the knight. All right. Well, this is where the end game gets a little bit tricky. Now, we have the bishop pair. That's a good advantage that you want to use in the end game. But with the center blocked up here, the bishops aren't as powerful as if we would open up the center. We could take the knight, but that would repair the doubled pawns. So I don't know if we want to do that. We could go after this pawn. But then the bishop could just protect. So maybe we get rid of these pawns here. We'll go here, threaten to capture, and double the pawns up. Okay. Well, now we can just capture and they'll be left with these isolated doubled pawns. All right. Now let's see here. I could knock this out here, then attack the pawn, but the pawn would just run forward. So I probably don't want to undouble his pawns. That would just help him. Could immediately go after this pawn. But if I go after the pawn here with my bishop, I have to be careful that his bishop doesn't go here and trap my bishop. You know, he's also got this attack, but then I could just knock out his knight. All right, here we go. We're going to go after that. Okay, now I can just take that out and grab the pawn, and then I'll have a passed pawn here, and I can start that pawn moving. Okay. Do I put the bishop here, but then he could go here and stop it? Okay, I think I'll do that to try and take control and get that moving. All right. All right. Okay. So now I have to just start moving up with my king. So I'm going to go there. And maybe I can go after this pawn right here. All right, let's see what they do. He could move here and target this. All right, maybe it's gonna turn into a draw here. Let's see. All right, I'm going to push that forward. But now what? Now I might as well capture and get that pawn off to the side. So then if I need to, I could go here, but huh. I don't know. This might end up being a draw here. What do you think? Let me turn on a light. It's getting dark in here. Okay. If I go here, he can go forward. If I try to come back around, his bishop is just doing a good job of blocking everything, and his king is stopping anything from happening here. I don't know. It's not looking so great. I guess we got to go back this way. They kind of forced us back around. I can't let him pick that off, and then he gets the other one. So maybe I got to go that way. It's a draw. I guess we repeated the position. All right. Well, let's see what the game review says here. Looks like computer played at 87%. I played at 86.3%. I did have a winning advantage here and then just gave it away, apparently. I missed a chance to win. I'll have to see what that was. The computer had a blunder. Looks like we both played at a 2200 level. If you can see that above my picture there. Mistakes, bad moves. I had 3 inaccuracies, the computer had 0. I had 4 mistakes, the computer had 2. Computer had 4 missed opportunities, I had 2, but the computer had 1 blunder. Okay, so I'm going to blast through this review real quick and just see what we could have done. Okay, so queen trade. They don't like that move. Apparently I should have captured with the knight instead. All right. All right. So knight move, I guess I'll take a look at that. Let me go back here. Best would have been that. Oh, okay. It keeps the knight from moving into my position, which did cause some issues. And if they push here to fork my 2 pieces, then I could just capture their knight. And they would either recapture or capture my bishop, and then that would give me time to retreat my knight away. So that would have been better. Keeping this pawn here to cover this square and keep the knight out. All right, so my opponent goes ahead here. This is a miss. Best would have been what? Capturing with the knight. Oh, because then they would have the threat of moving here with a check, and then the rook could be picked off. Oh, wow. All right. So in the game, this is a mistake here. Loses a pawn. So I captured, but then I had something better there. So apparently they like this move, bringing the knight here instead. Okay, so the game continued with them retreating back. It would have been better to check my king and keep the bishop pair. So I get rid of the bishop pair. That's probably why that was a great move. And now we have a check. So that helps me get my rook into the center. And that was not a good move. Apparently it would have been better to bring my king over. I also thought it might have been better to go here on the A file, because then I could come up here. So now what? They should block with the bishop, keeping my rook from coming up on this file. So that allows me to go here, threaten to capture with check. My opponent allows me to capture, but now they have a threat of coming down here with check and picking this off, and then they would have a passed B pawn. So they're in check. They don't like this move. So best would have been what here? Just dropping my king back and preventing his rook from infiltrating. Yeah, I probably should have kept rooks on the board. I mean, I have the bishop pair. I could use my rook with the bishop pair to start picking off the pawns. And this would keep his king trapped on the back rank. I overlooked that strategy. All right, so we trade down, and it just kind of went into a drawish endgame. So this was the blunder here that I didn't take advantage of. This permits the opponent to eventually win a pawn. But how? Okay, so I went here next, and that was a mistake. It looks like I should have centralized my bishop. So, and what should they have done? They should have just moved their king up and attacked my bishop. So once I played that, better would have been to centralize the bishop, attack the pawn, and then what would they do? They would just allow me to capture that? I don't know, a person probably would move that pawn up to g3. All right, anyway, this was not a good move. Once again, they wanted me to centralize. So next, we kind of just go into a drawish endgame here. All right. Well, okay. Feel free to leave any comments. I was trying to give you more tips, but I ended up just trying to focus on the game. So I probably could have given you more tips. Maybe in the future I'll try and hand out more tips while I'm playing. Okay. Well, feel free to leave comments. Like I said, like and subscribe for those that haven't already. Thank you for watching, and have a super chess day.